starving the motherfucker. No, can't trust everybody cooking. I'm a little funny when it comes to my tummy. But, you know, you build these things, just subconsciously, you build these things and these trusts, and then before long, you know what I'm saying, if you got a person that's doing right with it, you like, damn. You know, sometimes it don't even be you that really notice that you really trust this person. It'd be the outside forces, like your best friend, your family, or whatever. You in there playing video games with your homeboy. Girl come in, hey, I need to go to the store right quick. Can I take your car? Yeah, the key's right there. Now she out the door. Your homie like, what the hell? Nigga, I done known you for 5 years. You ain't never let me drive your whip. Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Oh, girl, I trust her, man. You know what I mean? That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's that line of trust. You know? Your homie knows it, but you didn't notice it.
I say fuck him.
Well, you know, different strokes.
Wax don't trust nobody. You gotta give me a reason to trust you. So you telling me you'll put a gun in somebody's hand and be like, I need, if somebody walk through that door, a random person hand, you gonna put a gun in their hand and be like, if somebody walks through that door, I want you to shoot them.
You know, I want to tell you what's crazy about that. It's funny you should mention that because, you know, I had a little, you know, I am pro-guns. I will state that because that's one of the issues that is in America today. I am pro-gun. So in my house, there are guns. And, you know, with living in situations with, you know, different, you know, females and relationships and stuff like that, there was a time where at first, if I didn't know you, whatever, you might not know where my guns are. You might know, I might have stated to you that I have them, but the more and more you build that credit or trust or whatever, my girl, you know, well, my girl at the time, you know what I'm saying, when I was in that relationship, yes. It went from you don't know where the gun is to I'm letting you know the gun is right here, and if anything pop off, we have a procedure in the house that either you gonna grab it or I'm gonna grab it, and if I grab it, you gotta know where to go because I'm gonna light this motherfucker up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a trust thing.
You planning on robbing somebody, and you ain't never done an armed robbery in your life. And you ain't never gotten in no type of trouble or none of that shit. We planning on doing an armed robbery. Okay. I put a gun in your hand. You ain't never held a gun before in your life. I tell you, somebody walk through that door, you say, motherfucker. And if somebody walk through that, and I'm trusting you to do this. And the next thing you know, somebody walk through that motherfucking door, you get hesitant, and you get shot. Now you busted.
I mean, the point of the matter is...
I'm not finished. When the police...
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You think I'm going to be able to trust you enough not to open your fucking mouth when you hesitated on shooting that motherfucker? Keep it real.
Like I reiterated before, you know, it all comes down to... When it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying, number one, you have to remember who you are. And the number one goal of defining who you are is to have the intelligence not to put on anybody, whether it's your responsibility or giving out responsibility to people who you know or who you feel that, you know, you can't give them that limited amount of trust. You know, like in business, we have limited liability companies. And it's just like the name. They are limitedly liable, meaning they are limited, only a certain amount of responsibility they have. The rest of it, you better all let the insurance company. So, like I said, with situations, if we're going to use that as an example, if you put a gun in someone's hand who you don't know, and it doesn't play out the way that you foresaw or planned it to play out, you can't even be mad at that
No, I'm not even saying
that person. The only person that you can.
No, listen.
Well,
I'm saying is, let's say that I know you. I feel like
okay.
I can trust you. Like, you ain't never give me no reason not to. But at the same time, when I plan this, you say you want to be part of this shit. This, that, and the third, right? Well, then next thing you know, when the shit go down, I tell you, somebody walk through that door, you shoot that motherfucker. You walk through the door, you hesitated, you didn't shoot, so you get shot. Now you sit in the damn hospital under police surveillance and all this shit. Like, I'm gonna get you in there. But the question, you think I'm gonna be able to trust you with that shit? I'm better off telling you myself.
The whole thing about it is, whether in that type of situation or anything, even with limited credit, you have to be able to address the situation and decipher the situation to know whether, okay, was this a freak anomaly? Because in life, anomalies are things that, you know, you can't foresee. They're random variables and random events that were unforeseen. Meaning, was it intentional or was this something that was random? You know, because people in life, that's why we have a whole entire, like in equations, we have a whole entire thing called a margin of error. If you did not anticipate a margin of error and plan for a margin of error, then you can only be mad at yourself. So, I mean, when it all goes down and boils down to, it's how smart you are with your trust. Do you allow a margin of error, which, depending on the limited amount of margin of error or the great amount of margin of error that you leave in a situation, is really your basis of reality. Because you have some people to say, "Oh, I don't never have a margin of error because it's gonna work, because it's a good plan or anything." Those type people are living in what we call a true reality. Everything on this planet that is created, especially things that are created man-made, have a margin of error. Even your thought process has a margin of error. Think about how many times in life you thought about doing something and something random came, even though you had the best plan ever, it went left field. And at that moment, when it went left field, you either said one or two things. I foreseen this coming because you had a margin of error, or you said, I didn't foresee this coming, which means you didn't plan for a margin of error. That's why some of the people who are the fakest people out there in the world are those people that say, "Oh man, I can't take no L's." You're living in a false reality. Because if you don't plan for an L, or at least know that you're going to take an L someday, you're not living in a reality. You're living in a fantasy. But like I said, that depends on the intelligence that you are. Oh, excuse me, the intelligence that you have. Mark, did I say that correct?
Yeah, you said it. Well, see, my whole thing about what Wacko said is, if a person have trust issues, why would you surround yourself with people that you don't trust? So,
oh yeah, exactly.
If you're in a situation where you have homeboys that you grew up with, that you say, been your day one, you didn't bring them by your mom's house, your grandma's house. Y'all boy didn't ride together, all that. girls together. Y'all then did this. Y'all then did that. But to sit there and say you don't trust them. Now, people change. People do change. But
Exactly.
at the same time, you still should have some type of trust knowing that if something should go down, this person should have your back at least. Because if they're in that situation with you, they ain't got no choice. Now, I guess they do have a choice because they can leave your ass. You know what I'm saying? Let you fend for yourself. Or they could be with you and y'all handle y'all business however y'all need to. But, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's just like in a relationship. I mean, that's is a person going to be true to their word. And when you say, I mean, it's not really so cut and dry nowadays, unfortunately. Either you're going to be a person that's true to your word or you're not going to be true to your word. But even with being or deciphering whether a person or determining whether a person was true to their word or not, it all boils down to a trial and error basis and knowing how that person is. And you don't really know a person half the time. You have to live through trial and error. Was this something that it's a repetitive thing where every time I give this person some trust or trust them with this, something happens? Like that homeboy. Every time, you ever notice that? Like, every time this one homeboy come to my house, I always be missing some shit. Like, you know, when the last time I seen this damn shit? You know, I mean, so you're not going to realize this until that person keep coming to your house and then you notice that that shit is gone. You know what I mean? So it all depends on trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Even with relationships, it's like that. With the government, it's like that. Everything in life is based on trial and error. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, let me give you a scenario. Okay. Let's say you got a homeboy come to you and tell you, like, your girl was trying to holler at home. But at the same time, your girl, like, say, he been trying to holler at her. You tell both of them boys, that been your niggas friends. Y'all boys, you been young. That been your gal's friends about 6, 7 years. Let's say about 4 years. Who you going to trust on that situation?
When you have a situation like that, and you know, time factors doesn't matter, unfortunately, because you know people change every day. You know, but even the force of why people change, that's you know, there's trial and error. There's a history or a pattern behind why that person feel like how they is today. They just wake up and was like, you know what, man, I don't trust that nigga no more. Nah, there's a reason why that person don't trust it. So in a situation like that, you know, number one, I stick to the man code. You know what I'm saying? And the man code is, if another fella, ladies, there's going to be some knowledge to you. This is how it's supposed to happen. If my dude come to me and say, yo, bruh, your girl, you know what I'm saying, she kind of came at me sideways the other day and trying to holler at me. That's loyal and respect. Because, number one, I'm going to go with that a little bit more over the other just because of the people of intelligence that I have to only have a certain group of people with me. If you somebody who's my homie or, you know what I'm saying, that's my roadie or whatever, if you are already an untrustworthy person that I can't trust you to be around certain companies like that, I'm not going to have you around that person at all, period. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even, you might know, yeah, you know what I'm saying, she ain't got a girl, but who she is, what she look like, when they kicking it, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. So for you to even know who my girl is,